Hello, my name is Hans Hanley, and I will be presenting the work, Partial Mobilization, Tracking Multilingual Information Flows Amongst Russian Media Outlets in Telegram. This work was done in conjunction with Professor Zakir Duremarich at Stanford University. On February 24, 2022, the Russian Federation, led by President Vladimir Putin, began a purported special military operation to demilitarize and denazify Ukraine. In conjunction with the military operation, the Russian state government launched various disinformation and propaganda campaigns across several media outlets. To combat this, many European and Western-based governments and companies banned or otherwise restricted Russian media. To get around Western sanctions and bans, several Russian media outlets started to aggressively promote their articles and reporting on the platform Telegram. Sputnik News, Russia Today, and others even created dedicated pages showing users how to download VPNs and how to access their content on platforms like Telegram. In this work, to document and understand the use of Telegram by Russian news outlets, we investigate the use of Telegram by 16 Russian websites in the aftermath of the Russian invasion of Ukraine. Specifically, to do this, we collect 215,000 news articles published by Russian websites in 2022. Our set of Russian outlets includes websites like Russia Today, Sputnik News, Southfront, TASS, and War on Fakes. In addition, we collect 2.48 million Telegram messages from 732 Telegram channels that were linked to by our set of news websites. Lastly, we use a multilingual large language model and the DP-means clustering algorithm to investigate the semantic and topic overlap between the Russian websites and Telegram. To begin, we first analyze how often our set of Russian news outlets hyperlink to Telegram and how the rate of Telegram messages changed over time. We indeed observed that directly following the Russian invasion of Ukraine on February 24th, that there was a massive jump in the use of Telegram links by our set of Russian news outlets, with the raw percentage of external links to Telegram going from 4% to nearly 10%. Corresponding with this increase in the use of Telegram, we further observe a decrease in the use of the US-based social media company X, formerly known as Twitter. In tandem with the increase in the use of Telegram by our set of websites, amongst our set of Telegram channels that were hyperlinked by our set of Russian websites, we further observe a large uptick in activity following the Russian invasion of Ukraine. Specifically, the daily average went from approximately 6,500 Telegram messages to nearly 27,000 following the Russian invasion. Though this petered out eventually, we know that the activity remained increased relative to the period preceding the Russian invasion. Having confirmed the increased use of Telegram by our set of Russian websites, we subsequently performed a topical analysis to understand how exactly our Russian news outlets interacted with our set of Telegram channels. More concretely, we sought to grasp the semantic overlap between the messages on Telegram and news articles in Russian media, and to understand the potential interaction and influence of Telegram and different news organizations on one another. To do this, we utilized a multilingual encoder large language model to determine when a news article and a Telegram message corresponded to one another, or conveyed similar messages. The reason we utilize a multilingual model is because 73.2% of our article data is in Russian, 22.3% in English, and 2.1% in Ukrainian. Further, 81.3% of our Telegram dataset is in Russian, 6% in English, and 5.3% in Ukrainian. The rest of our article data and Telegram dataset is made up of an assortment of different languages. We then utilize DP-means clustering to identify the topics present amongst our Telegram and news articles, and then finally used Hawk's processes to quantify their influence on one another. Prior to inputting our news articles into our encoder large language model, we segmented the articles that we collected into individual paragraphs based on the placement of newline and tab characters. The reason we segment our articles into individual paragraphs rather than inputting the entire article is 1, due to the context window of the large language model that we utilize, and 2, often within news articles, several different narratives or ideas are put forth, and we often want to be able to differentiate between these different ideas. Upon further cleaning our data, we subsequently embed the extracted paragraphs and each Telegram message into a semantic embedding space using our multilingual encoder large language model, specifically tuned for semantic search. Our encoder large language model is such that taking 4 passages, 3 of them being about the propaganda story of Ukrainian neo-Nazis, and 1 of them being about Ukrainian-developed bioweapons, upon embedding them, the 3 passages about Ukrainian neo-Nazis would be close to each other in the embedding space, while the story about Ukrainian bioweapons would be further away. To label 2 Telegram messages or 2 news article passages, or a Telegram message and a news passage as being about the same topic, we threshold based on the cosine similarity of the two messages. To ascertain an appropriate threshold, we benchmark our large language model on a SemEval 2022 dataset. This dataset grades 2 columns of multilingual news articles on whether they are about the same news narrative. Using this evaluation, we ultimately choose a cosine similarity threshold of 0.8. When 2 Telegram messages, news article paragraphs, or a Telegram message in a news article paragraph have a cosine similarity above 0.8 for this paper, we say that the 2 messages or paragraphs correspond with one another. Upon identifying the set of corresponding messages between our set of websites and Telegram channels, we quantify the overall similarity between a given website and a Telegram channel by taking the geometric average of percentages of shared messages between the 2 platforms, X and Y. In this way, we understand the relative similarity between websites and Telegram channels as a whole. Considering Telegram as a single platform, upon conducting our analysis and also performing this analysis by utilizing Fox News, CNN, and AP News as a control, we, as largely expected, observed that our set of Russian news websites have a high relative similarity to our set of Telegram channels, with Ukraina.ru having the highest similarity to Telegram. We further performed this analysis for individual Telegram channels, finding that our websites, again as expected, often have the highest similarity to their official Telegram channels. See our paper for details. To better understand the specific narratives that were within our Telegram and Russian news article datasets, we then utilized dp-means clustering to isolate individual topics. dp-means is a non-parametric extension of the k-means algorithm that does not require the specification of the number of clusters a priori. Given the size of our dataset and the unclear amount of topics present, this enables us to not have to immediately specify the number of topics or clusters beforehand. Furthermore, dp-means allows us to specify the amount lambda a data point must be from the already created clusters prior to dp-means creating a new cluster, allowing us to pinpoint how close we wish our paragraphs and Telegram messages to be in the corresponding embedding space before considering them to be about a different or the same topic. Determining the top topics by the number of articles in Telegram messages, the most shared topic, or topic that both had a Telegram message and a news article after clustering, we find that it concerned the destruction of buildings following Russia's operations in the Luhansk region of Ukraine. This was largely expected given how pivotal the Donbas region became to the war and the propaganda surrounding it. Overall, 19,467 separate articles and Telegram messages mentioned this topic. The second most popular topic, with 9,939 Telegram messages and articles, was about the actual invasion of Ukraine by Russian units. Within Vladimir Putin's declaration indicating Russia's intention to invade Ukraine, he called for a special military operation to denazify and demilitarize Ukraine, and we largely see this reflected here as well. Among the topics peculiar to our set of Russian websites, or those where there were no corresponding Telegram messages, we observed the most common topic concerned the use of a pipeline in Ukraine to send gas to Europe. Finally, among the topics peculiar to our set of Telegram channels, we find that the most common topics concern some of the day-to-day operations and updates about the war in Ukraine. Looking at the shared ecosystem of topic clusters between our set of news articles and Telegram, by looking within each cluster, we determine the percentage of each website's content and topics that first appeared on Telegram. In this way, we estimate the approximate percentage of each website's content that began on Telegram. As seen within this table, the fairly new website War on Fakes, which often promotes its articles on Telegram, had 28.4% of its content appear on Telegram first. Finally, using our set of identified clusters, we fit a series of Hawkes processes to model the influence of each of our websites on each other, their effect on the messages on Telegram, and the effect of Telegram on each of our websites. Hawkes processes are self-exciting temporal point processes that describe how events occur. In this work, the events would be the posting of an article or Telegram message. The occurrence of an event within one Hawkes process causes both an impulse on the Hawkes process itself and on the other Hawkes processes fit with it. Within this work, we fit a Hawkes process for each of our websites and for Telegram as a whole. Once fit, the Hawkes processes enable us to approximate the increase in articles about a topic on one website or platform caused or influenced by an article or message on a different website or platform. The influence of one website on another can then simply be estimated as the percentage of articles or messages on one website or platform that was influenced or caused by the articles on another website or platform. Across our websites, we find that Telegram had the greatest influence over Ukraina.ru, Telegram influencing 26.7% of its content. Conversely, we find that newsfront.info had the greatest influence on Telegram. As an example of one of the messages from Telegram that spread to many of our websites, one of our Telegram channels boasted, "We must win. This is our decisive battle, the spring of 2022. Let it be in April, May, but this year, it can be done. We will win." In conclusion, in this work, we find that Russian news websites significantly linked to more Telegram channels following the Russian invasion of Ukraine, and that Telegram activity on these channels likewise increased substantially following the Russian invasion. After embedding our set of articles in Telegram channel messages using a multilingual encoder large language model and subsequently applying DP-means clustering and Hawk's processes, we found that Telegram had the greatest influence on the website Ukraina.ru. Conversely, we find that the Russian news website newsfront.info had the greatest estimated influence on Telegram. Thank you, and you can find me at the following links.